Hold on, hold on. Say it again.
Can you hear me?
Beyond the horizon, when the judge really talk with the tiny details, change the way you walk beyond the horizon, past the glitter and the glare of Brooke and Gabby, break it down 'cause they've been there. Beyond the horizon, we are raising how you care.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 1 of Beyond the Riser, the Judges Podcast. I am Gabby,
I'm Brooke.
and we are so incredibly excited.
I mean, we're just excited to get out there to talk to friends, to talk cheer.
We've been having this idea for a while that it was time to try something different. We've been super inspired by all the coaches and gym owners and choreographers that have their podcasts. And we were like, what about if we got two crazy, goofy, fun judges to just talk about all the things that happen beyond the riser? So we are going to be interviewing, who do you want to bring on, Brooke? So many different people.
Yeah, so many. I have so many. Listen, I've been in the industry a really long time. I have so many friends. You all owe me favors. So I want to bring them all on. Let's spill the tea. Let's talk about it.
So I think we should start, Brooke, because some people are probably logging on going like, okay, I see these two crazy ladies on social media, but like, who actually are they and what credibility do they have at all? So I think you should start us off just by saying like who you are, how you got into cheer, and tell us about your background.
My name's Brooke Wojcik. I live in Columbus, Ohio, and I started out as a gymnast, and then I started cheer. I cheered in high school, I cheered in college, and then fresh out of college, I moved to Oklahoma, and there was a gym there, and I bought it. So I owned a gym for 10 years, an all-star gym, and I won a lot of stuff. I won NCAA nationals. I won level 1 high point at one point. Before there was summits, I won the international all levels. If you know, you know. If you don't, you're probably too young for me. Right, Gabby, hide your face. You're too young for me. I have had so many summit finalists back in the day, not recent. And then I moved back to Ohio, where I started working at a gym in Columbus. Again, lots of summit finalists. And I coached high school. I did choreography when I lived in Oklahoma. And so I decided I was going to have a baby. And I started working. I left All-Star and started judging because that's a lot easier to do with a baby. And I started doing high school choreography. I do a little bit of All-Star choreography. I'm more into the high school, but I can do both. It's fine. One and the same, right? So
She's a queen. She is a queen. Do not let her fool you.
A whole queen. Ask me anything. So now I do choreography. I started I left teaching. I was a high school teacher to pursue choreography full time. And in the process, I had a bunch of athletes that were moving on to college. I started running camps. Last year was my first full year. And I like to pay those athletes, former athletes of mine, their worth. Working camps, instructing is a lot of work. And I really felt like, let's pay them their worth. They're all college kids. They need to make money for school. Some of them are working real jobs, but they just really miss cheer and they love it. And they were great athletes. You don't have to be a great athlete to be a great coach or instructor. So some of them are kind of on that wave, and we've done amazing. I just booked my 30th camp for this coming summer. I'm already booked full for choreography. So I'm so excited. I started doing speaking engagements this year, which is bananas for me because I am very much like an extrovert, but I do not like to be front and center solo. Like, it really stresses me out. Put me point dancer with some friends behind me. That's more my vibe. So doing the speaking engagements has been like a whole learning curve for me. And then we were like, let's do a podcast.
Here we are.
So here we are. Okay, tell everybody about you, Gabby.
How do you go after that? Like, how am I supposed to follow
20
that?
minutes worth of that.
Okay, so first off, Brooke is awesome. I think before I even talk about myself, I think one of the main reasons we wanted to do this is because I made a video about this on my Instagram the other day, but there's so many of us in this space that do similar things, but I also think it's so fun when you find people that like love what they do and it's similar to what you do, and then you can kind of like band together. And so Brooke and I have an awesome history now. We judge together, we do all the things, and it's just, I don't know, we just like met and it's like, holy crap, I love you, and we have the same brain. It's great.
Also, see you this weekend on the panel.
It's gonna be a
Here we
great weekend. Honestly, you want Brooke and I on your panel. We're incredible. Okay.
I mean,
anyways,
it's really fun when it's really fun.
it is. We make a really long day really fun.
Shout out to Sin and Mac, my other bestie.
Brooke, he's
He's
gonna
so
die.
excited.
He is gonna die when he hears Sam Mac, we love you.
Sam Mac, holla.
A little similar to Brooke. I did not own a gym though. I didn't start cheerleading until I was 12 years old. I was actually a competitive figure skater my entire life, and I got really sick of the individual sport. I was like, I need some like friends in my life. So I moved over.
Triple axel.
Yes, ma'am. I could not do a triple X. I was not. Then I moved into all-star cheer, Gabby. I cheered all-star for, I want to say 7 years. I really don't remember. It kind of is all blurred to me. But I cheered up through college. When I went to college, I cheered D1, went to Daytona, did all the things. Did both D1 competitive and game day before game day was like cool. So I feel like game day is, I know you love game day too. I love it. I think it's so amazing. Then I coached high school, which was really fun because my state adopted game day while I was coaching. And so I feel like a lot of people in my area were like, what? You want me to hold a sign and say, go blue? And I said, yes. And we're going to make it really fun. So that was fun. I also coached All-Star at the same time. There was a time that I was not only student teaching, but I was coaching high school and coaching 3 All-Star teams an hour and a half away from my house. Like, I don't know, my blood was Celsius. Like, that's what was running through my body because I don't know how I was supposed to function. Okay, so I coached, and then I took a year off from coaching in general, and one of my best friends and I, her sister, judged, and she was like, I think you guys should judge. And we did like one competition, and we were like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, shout out to all the cheer parents, you're great, but holy amazing that I don't have to deal with you when I judge. So that's like, I think, yeah, she gets it. That's what got me hooked, is I just like loved it. And then last year in May, it hasn't even been a year yet, I just was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to start posting my videos on social media and see. And then, yeah, here we are. So judging, I do choreography, I do cleanup sessions, I do all the things. And I absolutely love every second of it. And now I get to like hang out with people like you on a Thursday because I quit my full-time job.
Hey! Wait, you know what the funniest thing was? I went to go work with a team like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like going through, it was an all-star, 2 all-star teams, and we're talking, and she's like, yeah, we did this review with like score sheets with Gabby, and I was like, wait. I was like, yeah, I know her. But like personally, I know her.
And you're like, yeah, I completely agree.
I did. I said my worlds have collided, and now it's all happening. So it was just funny because I was like, yes, actually, I do know her.
That's incredible. I absolutely love that. I feel like because we're not too far from each other, we probably overlap with some teams and don't even realize it. And I guarantee like it's what comes out of my mouth or comes out of your mouth is probably copy and paste of each other. Brooke and I are like super pumped because it is episode 1 and we already have a special guest.
Yes. So I'm going to speak at a conference, a virtual conference. You've probably seen her on social media because if you are at all into cheer, she's a big deal. I'm speaking at her conference in April. It's a virtual conference, but then we do like a live Q&A session. And I thought, like, who better to come on than the owner of Cheer Coach Academy? Her name's Gina Harris. She needs a walk-up song.
Like, you should ask. That should be our first question when she gets in is, Gina, we don't care about who you are or what you do. What's your walk-up song?
Gina!
Hey, Gina.
Hi.
Gina, first question.
Yeah.
If you had a walk-up song, what would your walk-up song be?
Oh, well, I'm going to date myself
It's
because
okay. We already talked about I'm old.
no, I'm older. My walk-up song would be, who's it by? It goes, crisscross will make you jump,
It's
jump.
like crisscross. That's jump, jump.
Yes. Oh, yeah, it's crisscross, obviously. So that was kind of one of my songs for high school because I always jumped. I always did like five
Okay,
jumps after every cheer we did. And that's why they were hyperextended. So
perfect.
can't do that anymore, but
You were
I
living in the
always
flint.
jumped.
I just know it.
Yeah, I was jumping Gina. But then I also love CNC Music Factory. Everybody dance now.
Oh, I like that one too.
But my first routines were to Paul Abdul, like straight up,
Wow.
I would
but
like to say that I resonate with that a lot. And Gabby's like, who?
No, I know who Paula Abdul is, Brooke.
Wait, you guys.
maybe you were a baby, Brooke, and you're listening to that.
No, I was in elementary. I'm 43. Okay.
So Gina, before you came on, we were like hyping you up, and then Brooke goes, so what would her walk-up song be? And I go, okay, screw the introductions. We're just rapid firing, asking her that right when she comes in. So there's the context behind that.
I am Gina Jump Jump. Crisscross
Gina,
Jump Jump.
Yeah.
okay,
I
so
like that.
screw Gina Harris. She is Gina Jump Jump moving forward.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Okay,
so
perfect.
good. We're doing that. We're not allowed to talk about you, who you are, what you do until you answer a rapid fire question. That's how we know if you're allowed to stay on the podcast.
Okay, so did I pass?
You
Yeah,
passed.
that was good.
Gina
That was
passed.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, Gina, tell us a little bit about yourself. And I kind of referenced, we brought you on because we have this amazing conference coming up. But tell us about you first and a little bit about your background.
Sure. Well, I fell in love with cheerleading in eighth grade when I tried out for the team. It was at a time when the school actually voted and the varsity cheerleaders decided. So I was trying out for JV. Yeah,
That's nerve-wracking.
your mouths are dropping.
Wow.
Yes. And I didn't know what I was doing, but I knew how to smile. So I tried out, I made the team because I smiled, but I just performed. And I loved it. And I loved it so much because it was a time in my life when my dad had passed away, and it was very sudden and very tragic. And so I found cheerleading, and it was the place that I could go to find some joy, that I could put a smile on my face and not forget about the problems that I've had. Like, you have to always work through any tragedies you've gone through, but it was just kind of my safe place to go. And I loved I loved it so much. And that's why I think it's transitioned into coaching, because I want to give young athletes that opportunity that they can not only achieve their goals and learn good work ethic and character, but also have that safe place that they can go. Because for the amount of years I've coached, I've obviously experienced a lot of different athletes with many, many different family issues and problems. So I like to give them that safe place too, and just have a home for them. So that was my introduction to cheerleading. And I started coaching as soon as I got into college. It just fell into my lap. And I've been coaching in some capacity ever since. I've coached a high school for the most part, but all-star, middle school, you name it. I've been involved as a coach in some capacity in many different avenues. So 10 years ago, it's been 10 years, I started Cheer Coach Academy because I I was a CEO of a nonprofit. So I've most of my career has been working in nonprofits, and I don't have a lot of time to help a lot of schools. So I decided to put all of the information and package it into something online. So I created Cheer Coach Academy for coaches that they could have a resource. So I have free resources, paid resources, and it's a place I can direct coaches to. And it just organically grew. I think the same thing has probably happened for the both of you, where it just organically grows. You don't have some kind of big marketing plan, and before you know it, you're quitting your day job because this is so busy, right? So I created all these resources, and now I'm kind of doing it full time, but I also consult with nonprofits as well. And that's what I do. But I still coach high school cheer and I love it. And I think one of the ways I can really be a resource to other coaches is that I'm in the grind myself and I'm experiencing those things. And teenagers today are very different than they were 10 years, 20, and 30, shall I say it, 30 years ago. They're very different. So I've been able to stay up with the trends with cheer, just not only the skills, but also the culture and the dynamics of teenage life, from going to having a phone tree to communicate to just having something as simple as a text or apps to just send something out and everybody has a message. But yes, I resorted to phone trees at the very beginning of coaching, that I called so many people and then they called other people. And that's how we got the message out that the game's starting at 6 instead of 7. That's what we did.
Absolutely. I was there for that.
I was not, but that's okay. I have realized when I have these conversations that there are times, especially when I talk with people who have been a part of the industry for so long, and they're like, Brooke mentioned something earlier about a specific, what was the competition, Brooke?
Gina, do you remember when All-Star, before the summit, they did international all levels?
I remember when I coached All-Star, it was just co-ed. I had a co-ed team. It was just co-ed.
Oh,
And
so
No
it
level.
didn't matter your skills. There were no levels.
yeah, there were no levels when I first started coaching, but they
Okay.
right before summit started, they had this thing, varsity sponsored it. It was called International All Levels, and there were different regionals all over the place, and you won your region, and then they would take your videos and you would compete against all the other people in your division from the other regionals, and I won that like twice. But that was like before the summit started. But it was crazy because I was just like, there's no way I'm gonna like be I mean, like we won NCAA All-Star that year, but I'm like, but that would never exist now. I mean, it was like the first virtual type things that they did. It was kind of cool.
That's awesome.
And now I'm
Wow.
like, man, I wish I had judged that.
Right. Wow. When I was cheering, I think it was my senior year when Summit was a thing. Like it was the first year of Summit and I was in my senior year. And I remember I went to Summit my senior year and then I went to Worlds my super senior year and then I was done. And this was back, like I say back when, it really wasn't that long ago. Like level 5 was Worlds. Like that was it. Like you were on it. I also remember I was like 12 cheering on a team with like my coaches who were males who were like 40. Like that was like totally normal. You could be on
That
this
was
like
open, right?
Yeah, it was the open
Open
team. And
team.
yeah, and I was also on like 4 teams one year. Like you can't do that stuff now. It just the rules were just not a thing back then.
There in the first few years of Worlds, you could also compete junior teams there. That's
That
how
is
old I am.
crazy.
You could compete junior teams at Worlds back in the day.
God,
Like I
times are
remember
so
the first
different.
year of Worlds, like Summit's first year was like 2013, 2012, something like that. So like before all that started, there was no end of season event for all-star teams.
Mhm.
And it was
Yeah.
international all levels kind of.
Yeah.
Times
Well,
are
you
so
know what
different.
makes this great though? I think what makes the cheer community so dynamic and so amazing is that people coming together from all walks of life and also different generations. And I don't think cheer would be where it is today without some of the people that are more seasoned and have been around a while, but then also for any of those influencers and coaches that are newer. Maybe they only cheered within the last 10 years because they bring so much to cheer as well. So I really love the community of cheer, that we can have different generations, but it all comes down to that focus and that we love cheer, and we can all come together for that and then bring our experiences, our unique experiences into the sport that we love.
I think that's why it's evolved so well, because we've learned from our mistakes. Us old people are still in it, and we're like, listen, we lived through that and it didn't work. So like we have to find a better way. And I, like Gabby was saying before, I think that there are so many people that want to be competitive in this. I am all for like, probably you obviously are too, Gina, but like we are all about, we have to educate the people that are coming in to coaching and judging so that they can be better than we ever were, and we can continue to evolve the sport and make it better for the athletes. Let's keep educating these people. Let's not gatekeep. Let's like open the doors and show them, this didn't work for us. You are so much smarter than I ever was. Find a way to do it for us.
I could not agree with you more, Brooke. I just had a conversation with another like choreographer coach person the other night where I said, like, I think something, Brooke, you and I do this all the time. Like, I really want to change the like, atmosphere of score review in AccuScore, because I remember when I was coaching, I was like pooping myself walking in there. I'm like, oh my God, or like, I got to fight. Like, you come in one of two ways. You're either I lied, three ways, really nervous, have no idea what's going on and really confused, or guns blazing, ready to blow the place up. Like there's literally no in between. And I feel like some of the event producers that you and I work with are really trying to change the narrative of that and put people like you and myself in there where it's like, no, you can come in here and we can have a conversation. Like it's not a fight. It's well, how do you interpret it? How did we interpret it? Was there miscommunication? Does something need to be fixed? And just educate. Yeah. And I think that, like Gina said too, having so many different, like I've learned so much from people who have been in the industry for so long. And then on the flip side, I feel like I bring something to the table too of like, oh, well, this person's probably thinking about it this way because they don't have the same experience as you. And I just think there's so much. There's like so many beautiful, I say this all the time, the cheerleading industry is so beautiful because it is, because there's so many different insanely talented and experienced brains. I love it. I love it so much.
Gina, tell us about the conference that's coming up that you're hosting.
All right. On April 18th, I'll be hosting the Radiate Cheer Coaches Conference. It's a virtual conference, and we have amazing speakers like Brooke here, Queen Bee Choreography.
Hey.
And we have the coach Levi, we have the stunt doctor, we have Coach Claudia Ralph out of Princeton University. So I started this conference back in 2024, and it's an opportunity for coaches just to get motivated and excited for the next year, learn new skills. I'll tell you what, every single year, and I actually have just gone through all the workshops from our speakers, as a longtime seasoned coach, I learned so much. And there's things that I will be applying to even my own team based on what I learned. And I recently just watched Brooke's choreography one, and it made me feel really good that the things that you were saying, I'm like, that's how I go about my routines, because I choreograph my own routines. But I'm like, okay, I'm doing it right. So it was actually, even though there's some things that you might already know, it's also reassuring to know, okay, I'm doing this correctly. Because sometimes I just make it up as I go, but see that other people are doing it the same way. So with the conference, you also receive 2 dances and 2 cheers from Cheer Builder. So that's another online resource for cheer coaches. And then you receive music from Power Music Cheer. And Power Music Cheer has been a sponsor since the beginning. They've been amazing. And then Cheer Builder came on this year. So you also receive that. And then you get discounts on different resources as well. Also, you get lifetime access to the videos. So if you can't show up that day, which you really should, because then you can actually talk to Brooke and the other speakers live during the conference, but you'll be able to watch the videos. And I know I'll be rewatching some of them that I've already seen, so I can take those different skills and the different things that I learned to my own team. But you'll be able to go back and watch those videos for the rest of your life, for as long as I'm around, which I'm not going anywhere anytime soon.
That's amazing. Gina, if I wanted to sign up or I wanted to share how to sign up, how do we get access to that?
Sure, you go to cheercoachacademy.com and then click on conference, and then it has all the information there. So be sure to sign up, tell your coaching friends. There's something for everyone. Cheer Coach Academy, we primarily serve school coaches, but I will say all of the workshops would benefit coaches, all-star, school, rec. When I say we primarily serve school coaches, it's also rec coaches as well. But there's something for every coach in it, and it's going to be so much fun. I know one of the biggest questions I get, especially from school coaches, is how to incorporate tumbling if maybe they're not comfortable spotting tumbling or they don't have that background. So, Coach Levi's tumbling session is amazing, and it really builds upon Coach Lane, who is a speaker in 2024, and
Yeah.
he had diagrams and put the mat here, and
His was very good. He like showed you how to build stations with mats to like
yeah,
teach your athletes tumbling, which is smart if you're a school cheer coach. Because I work with a lot of school cheer teams. A lot of them don't know how to spot tumbling, but you can build these stations where you
yeah.
don't really have to spot so much. You just have to keep them alive in it.
Yeah, but then they also a lot of teams do go to tumbling once a week, but you're not going to increase your skills going to tumbling once a week in a group
Right.
tumbling class. Like,
Right.
I mean, I just haven't seen it. You need to continue the tumbling like at every practice, like some kind of training, some kind of skills throughout practices, not just hope that they get their tuck showing up to a once a week class.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, yeah, that's so true. Brooke, add those two to the list because I always see both of their posts online. I'm like, damn, they're
Okay.
so good. They're so
Yeah.
good. Teams will ask me, do you remember our routine? And I'm like, no, I love you, but no. Like I just said this. I was on the shout out Cheer Dads Unfiltered. They're hysterical if you've ever seen their videos, but I did a podcast with them last week and they asked me that. They were like, do you remember the routines that you review or the team? Look at Brooke's face. No, I'm like, there is this like switch in all judges' brains that like after you hit your ending pose, it's over for me. Like I watch so much cheerleading that I truly from the bottom of my heart do not remember a single routine.
But also
Maybe-
you judge certain sections. So maybe you're on tumbling or you're on
Yes.
So
Yes.
you're not looking at the overall routine.
No.
I couldn't tell you what stunts anybody is hitting in a routine because I'm usually judging tumbling and I'm trying to count and make sure I get it right. And also, if you have terrible technique, I'm like, was that a layout or a whip? Because I don't even know what to give you credit for.
It's so funny because Brooke and we will judge, like we're on the same panel a lot. And Brooke will be like talking in there, like, did anybody see that like back handspring on this level 1 routine? And I was like, they did level 1 tumbling. Like I'll have no clue because I don't do tumbling very often. It is crazy how like you have a different eye when you judge in comparison to like when your coach just watches your routine at practice. It is so, I never understood that until I started judging. And then I was like, oh yeah, this is way different.
That's a tip for coaches to give their teams, and it's something I say to my teams. Like if you mess up in the music section, and in Colorado where I am, usually there's like 2 judges on the cheer. That's all they're judging.
Yeah.
Like go get your 40 points. Just get your 40. Like you can get close to a perfect score in the cheer. It doesn't, you
Right.
know, difficulty not in our state. Like I'm only talking about my state's score sheet, but I don't think athletes know that, and I don't think a lot of coaches know that usually judges nowadays, it's not you're judging the whole routine because I used to have to do that, but usually judges are judging one portion. So if you mess up one portion, go get the points in the other places because
Yes.
where you messed up, those judges aren't looking at that, and those ones that are looking at another portion of the routine, they didn't see you messed up because they're focusing on their element.
Such a good
Let
point.
it carry over. Memory of a goldfish. You just keep moving.
Yes.
I think it also makes our judging more accurate when judges are just judging certain portions.
You know, you bring up something about the comparison scoring too, because I know that's a hot topic among a lot of coaches. And even just asking, why did I score this at this competition? I scored this at this competition. And when you don't have like this solid rubric and it's more comparison, it's a different judging panel. And as long as the order is correct, don't focus so much on the score. Look at the comments if they're good. And then also look at that particular competition and were you placed appropriately. Even like point spreads, I have come across coaches who get upset that there's a bigger point spread between their team and the winning team than they're at one competition than the previous one. And it's like, yeah, but that previous one, the team that they fell on their face, it wasn't a good routine for them. And so you have to look competition to competition and ultimately just look and see like, was the placement correct? And I
Yes.
think coaches get too hung up on the exact score rather and comparing it to previous competitions. Well, it's every competition's different.
I think judges are being directed now to do such a better job of
Mhm.
giving constructive comments.
Yeah.
Not just like my least favorite comment of all time, and I swear people still give it all the time, consider adding more difficulty. Well, thanks, I would if I had it.
Oh, I know, I know.
That's always like a no kidding to me. I'm like, well, obviously I would. A lot of panels, they'll tell you don't comment positively if you didn't give a perfect score. Like you can't say great tumbling if you didn't give a 10 out of 10. It's got to be like you either say what they need to fix. It like let's say it was good but not great. You say what they need to fix or you don't say anything at all. Because
Yeah.
if I get a 7 out of 10, that's still pretty good. I I probably know I need to clean it up or fix my timing or whatever it might have been. It was pretty good, but it wasn't great. So like, don't say that because then people are like, "Well, it was great, but you gave me a 7." And I think you literally reached out to me when I made the video about comparative scoring because I think coaches a lot of times, I do school cheer a lot too, and a lot of teams go to UCA and they're like, "Well, I don't understand like where I'm losing," and I'm like, "Well, do you have your division breakdown? Because I can tell you exactly where this team is beating you." Good. Okay, so I know this isn't about the conference, but tell us a little bit because Gabby doesn't know. Tell us a little bit about your son because I know.
Okay, Gina, I'm dying to know. Please tell me about your son.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I digress. Okay. Well, my son, he tried a lot of different sports. He was good at several of them, but nothing really took. So, gosh, I think now we're going on 5 years ago. He saw my cheerleaders tumbling and he said, "Will you teach me a back handspring?" And I'm like, "Sure." It's so cool when boys tumble, right? And he
Yeah.
already had this really flexible back, like ultra flexible. And so I taught him a back handspring. He caught on right away. And finally, my husband, who's a football coach, he said, "Should we put him in cheer?" And I'm like, "What?" And I wasn't sure about it, but we took him to the gym nearby and I'm like, maybe we could just try a prep team and see. And they're like, "We want him on an elite team." And I was like, okay, he needs to be on the ground. He needs to base because I was old school like that, and he can kick needle both legs. He didn't have to like work on getting those skills. He already was pretty flexible. So they saw that and put him in the air, and now, yeah. So he just progressed. Like his second year in cheer, he was on a level 2 team, and he already had all the tumbling skills for 4. So he went to Summit with a level 4 team because they had an injury and they had him fly in everything. The injured athlete was mainly a tumbler, but they put him in all the flying spots.
Oh my God.
Yeah, now he can do whip double now, and he's a flyer. He's
Goodbye.
your team, but he's like 75 pounds soaking wet, so he's still just
He's he's how old?
he's 13.
And he can whip double.
Yeah,
Gabby, you have to follow me
I
on
and
Instagram.
I
I'll
taught
send
him.
you.
I taught him his cartwheel, his round off, and his back handspring. So I'm claiming the foundation. But
Absolutely.
yeah, and
You
then
can't do anything without a good round off.
yeah, that took a little bit for him. It was kind of fun. But I actually used Coach Lane's technique on back handsprings to teach that to him. And
Wow.
yeah, so yeah, he can do all the skills and he flies. So if you see a boy flyer in a little 5 team, that's him.
Oh my God, he's so cute.
I know.
Oh,
That's
Lori,
why I was
looking
like,
at him.
we have to talk about it.
I think things are different because I have a son.
Yeah.
I don't have the fights with him about hair and makeup. So I listen to all the cheer moms. And I promise you that every time I have to get up, and it was when he was on the lower levels. Now that he's at a higher level, we don't have to get up as early. We have to wait around all day and compete at 8 p.m. at night, like NCA.
Yeah.
But um, all those mornings, all the moms would get up, and I had time to get ready. And my
Put
son,
your pants on.
this is why I'm not a mom to a girl athlete. It's because his very first summit, his hair was like really puffy. Like I helped him with his hair, I put gel in it. It was puffy, and I'm like humidity, and it was just puffy. Anyway, that night, my husband takes the little travel size face wash and I said, "No, Rob, that's face wash or that's hair gel." He's like, "No, this is my face wash." And I was like, "Oh, I put face wash in RJ's hair." And it was very flowy. I have pictures of I'll have to send them to you guys. But that's why I'm not a mom to a girl cheerleader because
That
I'm a
is,
boy.
like, and
that
even
has to be
coach, I
so,
don't care about the hair. I'm like, slick it back in a low pony, or call it good. I mean, and I don't do the makeup with my girls. I'm
I'm a
like,
boy mom, and I can't imagine. I'm not gonna lie. This sounds so bad because I coach girls. I can't imagine having girls. Like
I
I literally just have to say, "Hey, dude, brush your teeth," because he's not gonna brush his hair. Which, like, you know what? We're alive and we're on time. So, like,
I'm thankful my son is very, very cleanly. Like he takes a shower every day. I don't have to tell him. But so his team, they have like a vampire theme that's just they've always been their theme. So they do like this red blush that's kind of vampire-y.
yeah,
First thing he does when he's done, he gives me a big hug. He's like, "Where's the makeup wipes?" Because he just wants it off.
he's done with it.
I
Oh,
feel
oh my
that.
God. Yeah,
I get
he's
it.
done with it. So I never thought I would buy makeup wipes for my son, but I'm always reaching in the bag. I'm like, here you go. I what I love about All Star is there is more of a rubric, and yeah, it's just very defined, so you kind of know how you're going to score. But I don't dig into it so deep that I know exactly what you need to do to max out and so forth. All I know is like when they get their max out score, because now Varsity again puts the actual scores and then we compare. And so I go over it with my son, like what he can do better. There's nothing I can say about the team, obviously, but we go over what he can do better. And he actually still listens to me. When he was on level one, he had this highlighted tumbling pass.
Oh,
And when he did all his little walkover, all the little level one tumbling, whatever the most advanced thing is,
Abby's favorite skills.
yeah, when he stopped, he just ran back to his next section. And I said, you need to look at the audience and be like, and give him a smile or something. And
Sell
he,
it.
no, I have to get to my next spot. Very next practice, his coach said, RJ, you need to like flash a smile or something here. And my son told me that, and then he started doing that, and he's listened to me ever since. So, but I
Yes,
try not to
mom.
be, yeah, I try not to be too over, like I want to be cheer mom to him and even at the gym. So I try to keep my mouth shut, but then I hear moms talking, and usually I'm able to set them straight. Like, no, they have to do it this way because of this. Because like if you sit in the lobby and you hear people talking, or I feel like a lot of the moms end up texting me because they're like, and I'm like, I kind of don't because it's very different than when I coached All Star, and high school's
Yeah.
extremely different. But yeah, for a lot of times I feel like I have the gym's back or the coach's back. Sometimes I just keep my mouth shut because I'm like, oh yeah, I agree with that. But
What is your biggest coaching pet peeve?
you know, I think one of my pet peeves, I don't know if it's a pet peeve, is that coaches miss the small details where they can gain lots of points.
Yes.
And you gain those points now at tryouts. You gain them in the summer when you're fixing bent wrists. I mean, I've seen world's athletes do amazing elite skills. And then the flyers up there with like, I don't know. I don't, if I put my arms up, you won't see it, but
Those are called dinosaur heads.
I'm just like, no, no, why are your emotions like that? And several of like my national championship, several of my state championships, I know that the jump score made the difference. And why? Because my teams jump every day and they do jump conditioning every day. We take 5 to 10 minutes and we just do it every day. It's that consistency. So I think coaches will focus so much on what's worth the most, which is typically the stunts in the pyramid, which you should spend a lot of time on. but you have to develop a habit of the little details because all those points add up. And then that accounts for some of the point spreads that my teams have been able to have when they've won. You don't see those same point spreads in All-Star at all. But typically in All-Star, they're not going to be put on a certain level unless they actually have mastered all those skills. But I know for school cheer that if you take care of the details and you continue to drill the details, like even in the summer, you can work on tumbling synchronization, even if you don't know exactly how your tumbling passes are going to look at the routine. But when you stick those tumbling passes in, they should know like these are our counts, this is how we tumble together, and you can drill all those things. So I think I don't know if that's a pet peeve, but I think it's a very big missed opportunity. And at this time of year, at tryout time and during the summer, that's when coaches can actually gain some of the most points when they go out and compete.
Well, you just took a new high school job, didn't you?
I did.
Are you so excited?
Yes, it's where my grandma went to high school and she started the cheer.
Oh,
That's so fun.
oh.
Yeah, we're moving in state and yeah, my husband is going to be teaching at another school and I yeah, one thing led to another and here I am.
Do they compete?
Yes, they have competed and been very strong in the past, and there's kind of been a lull. And last year they did game day, but then they went to UCA with traditional and game day. They made finals in every category, and the Spirit game day, the Bahama cheer team, they got fifth at UCA Nationals in
Okay.
Division Two. So I'm really excited with the foundation they have, and I'm excited to see what we can do with them.
So you're
Love
going to be
it.
coaching game day and tradition, like spirit game day and traditional?
Yeah, and regular game day.
Oh, three.
Wow.
Yeah, well, they did it last year, and they kind of it's in a unique situation. They didn't have like a head cheer coach. The spirit director kind of took them last year, and she was waiting for the right coach to come along. And I just so happened to
Here
be
she
living
is.
like within a few miles of the school.
Yeah. Show us your hardware. What's on your
Yeah,
finger?
I
Well,
saw
this is
that.
this I have 9 state championships, but one stone fell out of one of the rings, and I'm waiting on the ninth ring to come. But this is my NCAA national
So
championship.
nonchalant, just waiting for my ninth ring to come. You're such a queen.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'll just be, and after this year, I'll just have all 10 fingers covered. So no big
I
deal.
know, but I have my husband, so yeah, this
Oh,
is more. I'm more proud of
You could
that.
just stack them. It's fine.
that was so
I didn't
sweet.
think of that.
Stacking jewelry, or you could put on a necklace. Stacking
She's got
jewelry,
a chain. You can hear Gina coming down the hallway with her clanking of her
they're like
rings.
hanging together. Very cool. I'm jealous of that.
Yeah, but what I want to say, this is what I just told my new team, that it sounds great that as a coach I have these championships and I'm very proud of them. But those things, those trophies, they collect dust. But the things that you learn and the ways that you grow as an athlete in any program that I'm going to be coaching, uh, the character you develop, you'll take with you the rest of your life. And the things that you learn now I want you to use when you're older in your families, your future career, and celebrate the wins, celebrate the championships and the trophies. Always do that. But it's the character that you develop on the road to those trophies, or maybe sometimes not those trophies, because I've lost many more times than I've won. The character that's developed is what you will take with you the rest of your life. And that is the heart of where I coach from. And I think that helps the athletes just be at rest that they don't have to perform. And that goes into my word radiate. I've been using that word radiate for the past 6 7 years. And I don't ask them to go perform for judges, perform for your parents, perform for your school. I just ask my teams to radiate who they were created to be, that they've put in the work, they've put on in the time, and when they get on the mat, I just want them to go out and radiate. And that's my word, radiate. And now
I
people
love
are
it.
starting to say it.
Do you think your coaching style has changed from when you first started to now?
Oh, absolutely. I think there's been seasons of, at first I did it because I'm like, this is so fun. I'm barely out of high school and I'm coaching. And then just different like hardships and tragedies throughout my life impacted my coaching. And then also, when I became a mom, that impacted how I coach. And I do feel like the relationship I have with parents have increased and gotten better. I think when you're a young, not a parent coach, you have more of an obstacle because I think parents try to take advantage of that. So I think it's easier that I'm at their saying, well, no, I'm older than a lot of the parents too. It's kind of crazy, but when I started being more their age and having RJ, I think that made a really big difference. And I see things from a whole different point of view because I understand that parent point of view as well, coach from a different perspective. And I think if you can bring your life experiences into coaching, not that you have to tell your team everything and what's going on in your life, but the things that you've learned and the ways that you've grown, I bring that into coaching. So I help them learn how to face adversity and how to overcome adversity and how to be confident in who they were created to be and try to not try to just have an appearance like on social media, like especially young girls. Like I have to look a certain way, I have to be a certain way, I have to act a certain way. That's not important. That's not where their identity lies. So if I can help them find their identity, and as I've grown and I've learned more, I can transfer that on to my teams that I coach.
I was telling Gabby earlier that I owned a gym, and I feel like the way I coached then for those 10 years is so different from the way I would coach now. And I think having a kid is what really changed my whole, because now I look at every kid as if that was my kid also. How would I want that handled? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And, or like, I will say, when I started coaching 1,000 years ago, a kid, it doesn't hit a stunt or bust a tumbling pass, how I would have reacted to that then is very different than how I would now. Because if that's my own child, they know they made a mistake out on that floor. I don't have to go and lash out and give it to them 5 minutes after that. They know it was a mistake. Like, I don't have
Yeah.
to make it worse. And I think before, and maybe I'm in the minority, but before I had my son, I think I probably would have been like, as soon as they come off the floor, this is what we did wrong. Instead of that, I think I would probably just not mention it there. And then later on at practice say, okay, this is where we went wrong. Give them some time to process it. And like, it's embarrassing when you make mistakes, and
Oh yeah. Yeah.
just different things like that. I've really seen in myself that I'm like, wow, I really shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, no, and I did that too earlier in my years too, where I'd be more critical. But I'm also not telling all the coaches that don't have kids, go out and have a kid. That'll make you a better coach. I don't want it to sound like
Don't
that.
do that.
I do think it from a parent's perspective is really helpful. And I think that's helpful in any kind of communication, even when you're communicating with administration at your school, or if you work at a cheer gym, your boss at the cheer gym, trying to see things from another person's point of view and like genuinely seeing it from their point of view. Not that you may not have that. I think that serves us well for sure. And but at the same time, not tiptoeing around parents and what their demands may be and what they expect. You need to run your program and set that program up at the very beginning. And I'm just about to have my meeting at the end of the month with this is how this program runs, and then being consistent. That's the part that's been hard for me throughout the years, is being consistent that and enforcing like whatever the rules are. But I don't have a ton of rules in the sense of, okay, if you were tardy, you get a demerit, and after so many demerits, you're benched. And I'm like, if you're tardy, like I don't care if you're getting help with a teacher or you just were goofing off in the hallway before practice, like you're still conditioning because you're missing the conditioning with everybody else at the beginning.
I think building that culture is the most important thing, though. When you do build it, those kids want to come and show up and do a good
Yeah,
job.
yeah, absolutely. And you know what? That when you have that culture, the team holds each other accountable, that I don't have to be the bad guy because sometimes
Right.
I've had to tell, like some of my leaders on the team, like, calm down, just calm down. that's when you get the true buy-in. If you can have the team buy into the culture and then they hold each other accountable, and that's what type of culture that you want to set up, that it's not me as the coach being the bad guy. It's I didn't see somebody do their jumps. Now we have to do that again as a whole team. And my athletes are calling that out.
Right.
And I love seeing that.
I read this book by Jim Tressel, who is the former Ohio State coach. He's now like a lieutenant governor. He was the president of Youngstown State. Shout out to our national championship. Um, I read his book and it's called The Winner's Manual. And it was about like getting your athletes to buy into the program. And his big whole reason, if you haven't read it, it's such a good read if you're a coach. His big thing is you have to find each individual athlete's why. Like, why are they there? What makes them want to work hard for you? And that's how you build that culture. And I thought that was so smart because my dad has coached football my whole life. And he's kind of the same way. Like, we had kids at our house all the time that didn't have a ride or didn't have the best home life or whatever it might have been. And my dad, like, I would be like, why are they always here? And he's like, it doesn't matter. This is helping them. I am their why. And I was like, what? He didn't say it in those terms, but that's what it equated to. And I was kind of like, oh, wow. So then when I started coaching myself, my dad said, I had a girl in an instance. This is when I was very young. I really wanted to cut her. She had a horrible attitude. And I was telling my dad all about her, and she did not have a great home life. And he said, sometimes the kid needs the program more than the program needs the kid. And I was like, what? I mean, I was kind of like, yeah, but she's going to drive me crazy. And he said, right, but it's going to take 5 minutes of your sanity, but it's going to can change her life for the entire season.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, you're so right. And
Mhm.
that kind of changed my perspective on it too. My dad has also read that book, so maybe that's why, but it just changed my whole outlook on coaching and building a program and accountability and the buy-in.
It's not just about winning, but the principles that you're teaching to be the best team that you can be, because you're going to coach teams that aren't going to win, and most teams are not going to win next season. Like, they're just not. But what are you instilling in them? And yeah, my longevity as a coach, just thinking to those athletes that they still stay in touch with me. And even my most recent team, or my seniors that graduated last year, they were four-time state champs. They graduated and national champs. And they won. They always won. But then when I had them in to speak to the girls that were trying out for the next year, I said, talk about the program. What do you love about the program? They said nothing about winning. They talked about the community, the family, how their faith has grown. They went on and on about all of those things. And after they were done, I had 8 seniors that graduated last year. After they were all done, I said, oh, and what about winning? Oh, yeah, that too. So there's so much more to being a coach in a program than winning. And I say that as a very competitive person. Like, I do want to win. Like, I really want to win.
Winning is really fun.
It's the best to win, but so much more that you're passing on to these athletes, and to see them take that with them decades down the road is really cool to see.
Is there anything else you want to tell us about the conference or what you do or?
Well, I just have a passion to help coaches, and I am in the grind myself as a coach. So I'm just always looking for new ways that I can help coaches in just various ways, whether it's how to do stunts or how to interact with parents or your school, anything that I can do to help coaches. I know that I'm in this position not just so I can continue to just coach my team and, I guess you could say, hoard that information, but I did create Cheer Coach Academy to share with other coaches. And it's been incredible to see. I think about 25,000 coaches have downloaded materials from Cheer Coach Academy.
Wow.
And it's just been incredible to see that impact and to hear back from coaches later. I'm very humbled that people would want to learn from me, but it's also really exciting to be able to help out and pass on any of my knowledge to the next generation of coaches. But also, I've learned so much from other coaches, and I've really appreciated learning that.
I think that's the coolest thing is like no matter how long you've been in it, we're constantly evolving and changing, and there's always something to learn from other people. I think the people that are the best in cheer are the people that are willing to like learn from other people, and they collaborate and get ideas. And
I agree.
Absolutely. Plenty of teams to help. And also, when it boils down to it, we don't need to be so competitive, even with the teams in our division. Like, I'm going into a division that I'm competing against who I call my cheer sister. We coached together back in our all-star days, and I love her dearly. And one of the only reasons why I didn't want to go to this new school was I didn't want to compete against her. But we're going to be sister teams, and that's
I
really
love
exciting.
it.
So we don't have to be competitive even with those teams that end up in our same division. Like, let's just cheer for each other because when it boils down to it, you can work really hard. And when you put out that finals routine at the state championship, it just is what it is. You put in the work, and sometimes it doesn't go your way. Sometimes you hit the most phenomenal routine that your team has ever done. And it comes down to even just a little bit of judges' opinions too. But it's just good to stay friends with those competitors, even in your division. And I think it shows great sportsmanship to your athletes, and they can learn a lot from that as well.
I need everybody to log on and purchase this conference because I need somebody to ask questions in the live Q&A. Otherwise, I'm going to spend the whole time telling you weird stories about myself.
Make sure you put your coupon code out there so we know that you came to this through Brooke.
Yeah, it's Queen Bee 20. And I know some people in my state have already signed up with it. I did my segment on kind of like how I do choreo, and I broke it down between traditional and game day. So like whether you choreograph your own routines or you are stuck choreographing your own because you don't have the funds in your program, or you just want to be like more prepared for your choreographer, or like even when they come and do it and you're like, I don't love this, but I could tweak it like this. I just gave lots of like tips and tricks and things that I do and video examples. And
there's a coach I'm actually working with. She's been choreographing routines, but she really wants my help, but she still wants a hand in it. And I'm like, oh, this is just perfect. This is exactly what she needs.
Yeah.
So I can't wait for her to watch it.
Perfect.
Yeah, and you get 20% off using Brooke's code. So use that.
Queen Bee 20. Wink.
Okay, Gina, before you go, last final question. I know you've had a little bit of time to think, but we officially need what your question is going to be for our next guest.
What is the most valuable thing that you can pass on to your athletes as a coach that they can take with them the rest of their lives?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Especially to start off with, they come in, they have to answer that right away. I love that.
Oh my gosh, that's like a very serious, like heartstrings.
Well, Gina, thank you seriously so much for coming on and being our first guest. I felt like I learned something from listening to you speak. It was seriously great to have you. So thank you so much.
Okay, well, tell everybody where to follow you or Cheer Coach Academy on social media and your website so everybody can find all of your things.
Sure. Everything is Cheer Coach Academy. So cheercoachacademy.com. And then you can find me on Cheer Coach Academy on Facebook and on Instagram. I will jump on board with TikTok at some point, but I'm
not.
You're going to have to follow us because we haven't officially announced, but we are on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok. Beyond the Riser on Instagram and Facebook. And then on TikTok, we are Beyond the Riser _pod. We also have a YouTube, which is Beyond the Riser.
Nice.
Hey.
Oh, I have a YouTube also.
Okay.
But I need to post to it, but I have a good amount of subscribers.
Well, this was amazing. Seriously, Gina, you're the best. Thank you.
Everyone follow us on our socials. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Beyond the Riser. And we're on TikTok because somebody stole Beyond the Riser. We are at Beyond the Riser _pod. and you better follow us.
Yeah, you better follow us. We're coming for you.
Bam!
Thank you guys for listening to episode 1. Brooke and I will be back with a mystery guest for our next episode. See you later.
Bye!
What the hell I'm doing.
We Googled how to do a podcast. So, I
Yes.
mean, we're professionals.
Yep, we're really,
That's awesome.
we have no idea what we're doing, but we're going to make it really great. We're going to figure it out.
Get down 'cause they've been there.